Hey guys, this is How to Get Away with Murder, season 6. Well, the season and all that will be in the description. Let's get to it. So it starts off Annalise and Robert. They're talking, you know, the dude from that one Tinder case or whatever, or Inferno, dating Inferno, that she went on that one ice cream date with, and they're talking and caking on the phone. And he's like, I want to get to our 6th date. I was like, 6th date? Y'all been out that many times? But he's talking about some, they just been on the phone talking. And he wants to meet up again, you know, and get to know her and see her in person. And she's like, I'm not so sure. And then it jumps to like Annalise hears something in her house. And then she's like, oh, if you come in, I'll shoot or something. Because somebody trying to get in her house. And then some white lady like, oh, I'm sorry. This isn't an Airbnb. And I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to go there. But that made me think of that damn cop who walked up in Homeboy's house talking about some, she thought it was her house and shot him. But anyway, I digress. I don't even want to think about that shit. But anyway, so then it shows Gabriel and all of them, because they put cameras all over the house where Michaela and all, you know, the house that they all share. And whatnot. So then it jumps to the case that they're working on in the classroom. And Gabriel's already the first chair, and it's like, how come he's first chair? He's like, Annalise said, because he's the one that gave the idea. And it is a case about a teacher who ended up shooting one of his students because I guess he thought that he was going to attack the class or whatnot, and I guess he was a loner and he kind of fit the profile or something. And they want to have a restorative justice hearing, and Gabriel's the one who was able to convince this teacher to go through with this hearing, because he knows he's guilty. He feels bad, but there was like, well, crime shouldn't just be crime and punishment. If you want to provide healing, you want to provide another way to address how people are handled in the justice system, this will be the perfect way. We go and we consult with the boys' grandparents and talk to them about what would make them happy. We'll talk to, not happy, but allow them to heal. And then talk to the boy's friends. He's like, he didn't have any friends, so he's like, he feels like he was stereotyping this boy I guess, because he was a loner. But the boy, he looked like he was mixed. I was like, I don't know, maybe he thought the white side was going, nah, that's racist. That's not racist, but that's stereotyping, you know, the white shooter or whatever. But because the grandparents were black and white, so whatever. So from there, Tegan is talking to, they're at CNG talking to Nate and everything, and they're talking about this case that they're about to, the civil suit, and they tell Annalise about it. She's like, I don't want no parts of it. She's like, you realize you're standing in the person's office who got killed because he tried to take on the government and all that. He was like, well, we're going to do this with or without you, Annalise. And then Annalise was like, she leaves, and then she goes and talks to Frank. She was like, look, we can't have this getting out because we don't need Miller's innocence coming out, because remember, they trying to keep that from Bonnie and everybody else, and they don't want nobody knowing that Nate did the shit either. So she said she need Bad Frank to scare him good, real good. So we'll see what happened after that. And we're back. Okay, I think I meant to say that Asher was going to go to convince the grandparents and share his grief and pain about his father committing suicide, just to say that, you know, I guess to help with getting the grandparents to agree to do the restorative justice hearing. So from there, and then it jumps, because it's like, I guess a month has passed, because it jumps when Michaela was talking to Gabriel, and it jumps to when she broke up with him because she said she needs to study and all this other stuff, and she didn't need nobody in her way. So apparently she ain't really fucking with Asher either, but Asher said anything he can get, which he already said from before. So this is, I guess, a month ahead from what we were seeing last episode, I guess. And plus, Gabriel got a new haircut and all that little thing going on. From there, Asher goes with Annalise to see the grandparents and, you know, try to convince them. They were like, no, he already agreed to the sentencing. They were like, no. Well, now since he's my client, I'm not going to let him go agree to that. We're going to take this to trial. And if it's taken to trial, it's not going to be the teacher's trial. It's going to be the trial of Ryan, the boy who got shot. And all the things are going to come out about him, how he was, his drug use, his personality, how he may have even harmed his mother, of the rumors of that and everything. So they're like, nah, okay, fine, we'll agree to go to trial. From there, we go to then it goes to Michaela, Asher, and Gabriel talking in CNG, and Asher makes a little joke, I guess, towards about Michaela and whatnot, and Gabriel's like, what's that mean? Because he's still very butthurt that Michaela broke up with him, because I guess he thought that was just his wifey, and it turns out no, boo. So the plot thickens on the teacher as the recounts and everything, because I'm watching and it sounds like this boy is horrible. They saying he wasn't just bullying the students, he was bullying the teachers. He was throwing stuff at the teacher, just doing stuff and being crazy, especially crazy on that day when he got shot, saying that he was just saying that he would just like do hurtful things. And I mean, you can't take those things lightly these days. So I understand where the boy was coming from, where the teacher was coming from. But then one of the teachers was like, I'm sorry, because they said that he was just reaching for his phone, but all the students ducked down. But the one teacher, she's like, I'm sorry, I have to tell them. Turns out that the boy was reaching for his phone because he was going to expose the teacher as gay, and he was going to show his profile to the whole class. And this is a Catholic school that they're in, and the man, I guess he's been teaching for like 25 years. He would have got exposed and he would have got fired. So that could be motive as to why he actually killed this boy, and not saying he want to save the class because he doesn't want to get exposed. Then they're talking to Annalise later after the hearing and whatnot. They're talking to him, and they're like, were you having an affair with this? Not affair, but were you sleeping with this boy? Or what? He was like, no, he actually, one time in detention, I left my phone on the desk and a message came in, and he happened to have seen it. That's how he knew I was gay and all that. And then she's like, put the teacher on suicide watch because she don't want him committing suicide after all this shit. And it's going to have to go to trial now or they're trying to keep it from going to trial, because now the grandparents may be pushing for that. I'll be back. Okay, y'all. So it goes to them talking about like men who are in the closet and all that. Like, they're at the house, all the kids' house. Well, not kids, they grown. They talking about closure. Asher's more so talking about closure. He's like, I don't even know what y'all even really did to Sam. Michaela's like, I ain't got time to be talking about this shit. We just need to let that go. So from there, who's knocking on the door? Gabriel is all puppy dog sad, talking about he's upset for his client. I might be even getting him even more years now that this has come out. And then he said he needs, Michaela, because he has nobody. He ain't got no friends. He made no friends since he been there, but the Keaton 5. And, they don't fuck with him like that. So he's like, I just need you, Michaela. And I know you're still upset with me, but, like, why won't you talk to me and what really happened? Just tell me. Because, y'all, she did not for real tell him that she fucked Asher. And that's why she kind of still, that's why she really wanted the distance. So then it goes to Frank and Bonnie talking. Well, they're at the house at Bonnie's and Frank's house, and she's like, "Where you just come from?" He's like, "I went for a run." Then it's really we see Tegan going to her car, and there's a USB. I thought he was gonna like rough Tegan up or something, like, "Bitch, don't you file this suit against so, but it's just a USB, and it's pictures of Cora and whatnot. And then she takes the USB and shows it to Annalise, and she thinks that it's Xavier who sent that, and she was like, Annalise was like, don't worry about it, it's just to scare, it's probably just to scare you, you shouldn't, it just is what it is, it did what it was supposed to do. But I'm like, didn't she want her to stop with the Frank wrongful death thing and not the whole Xavier Castillo shit or whatever? But I'm a little confused. I gotta listen a little bit better. And meanwhile, Frank is looking good and real recovered. I forgot to mention that he was all glistening shit, working out, lifting his weights and stuff early. I was like, okay, Frank. Then it jumps to Annalise and Frank, and she was like, it worked. She isn't gonna go through with the suit anymore. And then I was like, I don't believe that. I don't believe that it's that easy, but we'll see. And then he talking about some, that was good Frank. She's like, bad Frank did well. She's like, no, that was good Frank. He's like, I just had to think about, what would I be terrified of and whatnot. What am I afraid of losing? And what would scare me is losing the person that I love. And she was like, who, Laurel? He was like, nah. She's like, Bonnie. She's like, no, I told you, don't be trying with Bonnie no more. You're just going to hurt her. Just leave her alone, Frank. He's like, I just told you because I want your blessing. I'm like, nigga, why? You know she ain't going to be down for that. And, yeah, so I guess she dropped the suit and whatnot. And we'll see what else happened with this. Y'all, I'll be back. Okay, y'all, this part had just got good. Okay, Gabriel and Annalise are back at the grandparents' house, and they were talking about the trial and everything, about not going to trial and just keep going on with the restorative hearing and justice hearing. And at least, and Annalise, she was like, we just tired of this and we want to get through with it. And then Annalise opens up about, because she was like, when I lost my daughter, when she had a heart attack, the mom was saying that, she like, all we had was Ryan. That's all we had left, and now we won't even have him. And then she's like, Gabriel, because she's told that to Gabriel, like, you don't know nothing about how it is to lose or something and everything, like that type of loss. Then Annalise opens up about how she lost her baby to a hit and run, and she's like, if she, of course, wants that person to pay, but overall she wants an apology, she would want that from the person. And then it jumps to her and Gabriel in the car. He was like, was the baby that you lost, was it Sam? She was like, yeah, I'm surprised your mama didn't tell you. She's like, nah, she didn't. And she's like, yeah, they say that's what happens in a marriage. Marriage can't really make it through. One of the hardest things on a marriage is the loss of a child. She's like, well, you see them, the grandparents, they still together, so let's not say that's why we broke up. And she was like, this hearing isn't really about these people. It's more so you and your guilt and how you want to feel better about killing your mom's boyfriend. And he's like, that's not true. And I'm like, okay. But this hearing about the grandfather, he was like, it says in the Bible to forgive those and all that. But the black grandma was like, hold up, I don't feel that way. Let me tell you exactly how I feel. Okay? So she was like, I sat up here and I've listened to all the testimony of all these kids and everything of how they talked about my Ryan. And I know my Ryan, my grandchild and everything. And but she was like, you are the adult. You are the teacher. If you felt that my grandson was so troubled and going through so much and so much pain, you're the teacher. Why not help him? That is your job. But instead, and then she was like, did you kill him because you're homosexual? Did you try to do something to him? And he had this dumbass weird look on his face. I'm like, is he smiling? But I think that's just his, he got nervous sick or something. But I'm like, exactly. Don't be talking about you shot him because you were scared for the class. And if you always saw all these signs and everybody's reporting, all the teachers and everybody, there was no counselor. This is a Catholic school, so I know they got money because they paying off all them priests and stuff. But I know they got money. So you trying to tell me that ain't nobody try to help him. Y'all see that this boy is troubled and he's isolated and all this. And I was thinking like, tell him, grandma, because this is some bullshit. Everybody trying to peg this boy and he wasn't about to shoot nobody. Don't say that he was a shooter. He was pulling out a phone and you didn't want them to tell him to tell people that you was gay. And it's probably some part in the back of their mind, because when people getting exposed like that, they'll do anything to cover that shit up. So I was just happy that somebody spoke up on the behalf of this boy, because this is just sounding like some bullshit though. I don't care if he was troubled and all that. You're the adult. You need to speak up and you need to help. I'll be back, y'all. Okay. So it goes to Annalise and the teacher talking and whatever chambers or something, and she was, I guess, telling Annalise she can't relate, and then she was like, no. She opened up and said, I know exactly how it is to be in that closet, okay? So don't tell me I don't know how it is to hide who you are and all that or whatnot. But she said that if you want anything to be done, happen out of this trial, I need you to stop lying and be honest about all your shit. So it goes back to the hearing. And he goes in and he says, like, when Ryan came into that school that, or whatever, he had hate for him. And the hate came from the fact that he knew about his homosexuality and he knew that he could expose him. So whether or not he pulled the trigger on that boy because he thought he didn't want to be exposed, or whether or not he thought that the class was genuinely in danger, it might have still been a part of it in the back of his mind, which I believe too. This is a good way to do trials, y'all. Like, especially when it's like such a sensitive subject. They're like the victim family. I wish the other trials were conducted in this manner. That's just my thoughts and opinion on that. So from there, he was just saying to the grandparents, I'm genuinely sorry. And this part, it looks like he's like, I will take all your suffering, because the grandma had been said she's suffering and I got to suffer the rest of my life. As if you've been in jail forever, we'll take some of that suffering a little bit away. I'll be happy. And he was like, I'll take whatever sentences I get or whatnot. So from there, it goes to the little recess while they deliberate, while the judge deliberates on what to do. And it goes to Gabriel and Michaela. And Michaela, I guess after hearing all this testimony about telling the truth and being true, she tells Gabriel that she has been lying. Last month, she cheated on him with Asher. And then while she's in there saying that, Asher walk up and like, oh, the hearing is done and we're about to do sentencing. So turns out the teacher just gets the same original sentence or whatnot, 20 years for the killing and then 5 years for having a gun on school property illegally. And from there, Gabriel still runs up on Michaela like, I don't care, it's so small, can we move past this and all that. And then Asher is like, just from the fact that you didn't really care that much that me and Michaela slept together shows that you don't care about her. I'm like, that's not what that means, but okay. So then he gets like, what do you mean? So then they start fighting. So they're in the middle of the courthouse, y'all, fighting. They lucky they don't get shot or something up in the courthouse, fighting, being stupid over some Michaela. And Michaela ain't fucking neither one of them. But okay, girl, okay. I'll be back. Okay, so Annalise finally goes to, I think his name's Robert's house. And he done cooked her a nice dinner, set the mood, the candles. I was like, okay, Annalise, get your smartphone. So they just chilling and talking and, whatnot. So, what else happened? Yeah. She's talking to Robert and she's like, what is this all about? Like, because he told her before, at the beginning of the episode, like, I really want to, he been married twice. He's like, I really want to get to know you. I'm in here for some real stuff. I'm like, I've been married twice. Dang, calm down. Maybe marriage ain't for you, boo. Marriage ain't. But he seemed like he be really trying. But he said he went to a lot of therapy and whatnot. And because both of his wives gave him the it's not me, it's you thing or something. Or some type of shit, a speech. And he went to therapy. And I guess through therapy, it was like, oh, he has a thing with self-worth. I mean, he's got to know that he's worthy of love. Maybe he has self-esteem problems. I don't know. He seemed like he cool. He ain't ugly, but okay. So he was like, Annalise, don't you get tired of being alone at night and blah, 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 blah. And she was like, she's like, he's like, don't you want to be touched? She's like, well, not all touching is welcome. And I guess she was, referring to her abuse, but like, girl, you just turn everything dark. But yeah, in the midst of all that, Gabriel calls Michaela. She not answering the phone. And it jumps to Michaela, at the Keaton 5 house. Asher got a black eye because Gabriel popped his ass in the eye, and then Asher hit the ground, and they was all smushed in faces. Gabriel looks unfazed. Gabriel and Ash talking about I got a couple hits there, right? And they like, yeah, right, boo. No, you didn't, Asher. No, you didn't. But anyway, you not a fighter, boo. You not a fighter. It's okay. But from there, Tegan is calling Cora, and she's not answering the phone. She's like, I know I told you I don't want to talk to you no more, but I'm just calling to make sure you alive. So she hasn't had no contact with Cora as of late. Or whatnot. Then she calls Annalise, but Annalise is on her little date with Robert. And from there, it jumps back to Annalise being on her date, and they talking and stuff a little bit more, and then he get up, and then they start slow dancing, and the music is playing, and it's real romantical. I was like, oh, they gonna do it, because I mean, I know Annalise is hurting for some. She is hurting because he's like, you ain't been in a relationship in a long time. Like, dang, girl, give yourself a chance and open up to somebody, because I know she wants something, some D, some P. She is hurting for something. So from there, we get Bonnie in Frank's house. But Frank is throwing the D as well. He making up some sauce, talking about come on, taste this. And he been throwing the D all episode, because he was asking her, do you want to come get in the shower, me glistening and stuff earlier in the episode. Now he making food. I made us dinner. He's like, where you just come from? She's like, oh, I just came from Nate's house. From working on the wrongful death suit. He's like, I thought y'all was done with that. Then it flashes to when Tegan actually does say that she isn't gonna do the wrongful death thing, and isn't gonna. I forgot that the Castillos and Xavier and all that, they all tied in with the governor. I forgot that that's all together, because I was confused earlier. If you go back to what I said earlier or whatnot, so it all ties together. So, but Bonnie was there too when Tegan was saying that she just can't do it because she just don't want to. She don't want that smoke. So she's like, I'm sorry, but Bonnie was like, I'll do it then. And I'm like, damn. Well, seeing as how Frank was the one who was doing the scaring, you know he ain't gonna touch Bonnie. So like, ooh, Annalise, what y'all gonna do? Because if Bonnie's the one who's doing the prosecuting, y'all can't really touch Bonnie. And then Bonnie sit there and find out that y'all accused her man of all this stuff. Well, Nate especially, because he was just going off half-cocked and beat that man in the face to death. That was just so brutal and bloody. But yeah, so from there, she told him when they were talking to Tegan, she was like, well, I'll file it. If ain't nobody gonna file it and everybody's so scared, I want the truth to come out. So she filing it. And then it jumps to the governor and Xavier, and then she like, who the hell is Bonnie Winterbottom? And he's like, oh, that's Annalise's right hand or whatever. And she was like, find me out everything you can about her. So all this shit about to come out. Then it jumps over to Xavier when he gets out the car from talking to the governor. He calls somebody and he's like, you still in Philly? She's like, yeah. It was that bitch at the beginning talking about some who was trying to jiggle into Annalise's house, talking about some, I thought this was an Airbnb. I mean, damn, the Castillos, like, they be stalking. Was she trying to for real come in there and murder her? Or what was she trying to do? Like, jiggling? Or is she getting an apartment next door to surveillance? What is really going on? And why was she all up at this one Annalise's door, y'all? I don't know. I don't know. And then next week's stuff is looking like it's going to get, I don't know. I'm confused and I just want to see what's going to happen. And then it jumps to Oliver and Connor, and they, and you know, Ash has just been, at their house sleeping on the couch. Do he not live in his own apartment no more? Because he was sleeping on the couch and shit. He might as well just move in. Is there extra room up in there or whatnot? And Oliver is talking to Connor, and then Connor was like, I just never told you about, I guess he want to open up and be honest. He was like, I just don't want you to not love me. He's like, I'll always love you. Ain't nothing you could tell me that make me not love you. He was like, I never told you about what happened and what my part was in Sam's death. And he was the one who chopped him up, and he told him. So from there, it goes into present date. You know, like, fast forward to like the present of where we think Annalise is dead or somebody dead, and they all up in the getting interrogated and shit. And Oliver is standing in the police department and just looking, just shell shocked to the motherfucker. And Frank walks in, and he was like, don't worry, Connor is a smart kid. He'll be all right, but let me get you out of here. And Oliver just looked crazy, and he just was about to walk out with Frank. Then he run back to the desk. He's like, I did it. I killed, I did it or whatever. Arrest me. I did it. And I'm like, for one, did what? For two, Oliver, what the hell? And did you do it? I mean, or you just trying to take the fall for your boo, or who really killed who or what? I don't know, y'all. So I don't know. I'm confused. But that was How to Get Away with Murder. I'll see y'all next week is the mid-season finale, and then it's gonna get real dead on the airways, y'all, because all the shows is going until like January. We ain't gonna have nothing to watch. But all right, I'll see y'all next week. Or actually, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and watch my other videos. And I'll see y'all later. Peace. Bye.